A cyber attack refers to an action designed to target a computer or any element of a computerized information system to change, destroy, or steal data, as well as exploit or harm a network. Cyber attacks have been on the rise, in sync with the digitization of business that has become more and more popular in recent years. Imagine waking up to find your entire digital world held hostage, or worse, completely inaccessible. This is the terrifying reality of modern cybersecurity threats. Welcome to our deep dive into the top 20 most common types of cybersecurity attacks. Stay tuned to learn how to protect yourself and your organization. First up, DOS and DDoS attacks. These attacks flood a system with illegitimate requests, causing it to shut down and deny service to legitimate users. A DDoS attack is initiated by a vast array of malware-infected host machines controlled by the attacker. These are referred to as denial-of-service attacks because the victim's site is unable to provide service to those who want to access it. In February 2020, Amazon Web Services experienced a massive DDoS attack, highlighting the devastating impact these attacks can have. Next, we have MITM attacks. Imagine someone eavesdropping on your private conversations, intercepting and altering your messages without you knowing. It is called a man-in-the-middle attack because the attacker positions themselves in the middle or between the two parties trying to communicate. In effect, the attacker is spying on the interaction between the two parties. Strong encryption and VPNs are your best defense against MITM attacks, ensuring your communications remain private and secure. Phishing attacks are another common threat. These attacks use deceptive emails to trick you into revealing sensitive information or downloading malware. To execute the attack, the bad actor may send a link that brings you to a website that then fools you into downloading malware such as viruses or giving the attacker your private information. In many cases, the target may not realize they have been compromised. Always scrutinize email headers and avoid clicking on suspicious links to protect yourself from phishing scams. Whale phishing targets the big fish in an organization like CEOs and executives aiming to steal valuable proprietary information. If a targeted whale downloads ransomware, they are more likely to pay the ransom to prevent news of the successful attack from getting out and damaging their reputation or that of the organization. Even the most cautious executives can fall prey to whale phishing, making it crucial to examine emails and attachments carefully. Spear phishing is a more targeted form of phishing, where attackers research their victims to craft highly personalized and convincing messages. Often, a spear phishing attack uses email spoofing, where the information inside the from portion of the email is faked, making it look like the email is coming from a different sender. Be vigilant and verify the authenticity of emails, especially those that seem unusually relevant or urgent. Ransomware attacks hold your system hostage until you pay a ransom. The malware encrypts your data, making it inaccessible until you comply. Affecting multiple computers is often accomplished by not initiating systems captivation until days or even weeks after the malware's initial penetration. Using next-generation firewalls with AI can help detect and prevent ransomware attacks before they cause damage. Password attacks exploit weak or easily guessable passwords. Attackers use various methods, including brute force and social engineering, to gain access. An attacker may also try to intercept network transmissions to grab passwords not encrypted by the network. They can also use social engineering, which convinces the target to input their password to solve a seemingly important problem. Implementing a lockout policy and using complex, unique passwords can significantly reduce the risk of password attacks. SQL injection attacks target websites that rely on databases, allowing attackers to manipulate or steal sensitive data. If an SQL injection succeeds, several things can happen, including the release of sensitive data or the modification or deletion of important data. Also, an attacker can execute administrator operations like a shutdown command, which can interrupt the function of the database. Adopting a least privileged model ensures only essential personnel have access to critical databases, minimizing the risk of SQL injection. URL interpretation attacks involve altering URLs to gain unauthorized access to sensitive information or administrative areas of a website. To execute a URL interpretation attack, a hacker may guess URLs they can use to gain administrator privileges to a site or to access the site's backend to get into a user's account. Once they get to the page they want, they can manipulate the site itself or gain access to sensitive information about the people who use it. Secure authentication methods, like multi-factor authentication, can help prevent URL interpretation attacks. DNS spoofing redirects traffic to fake websites, tricking users into entering sensitive information that attackers can exploit. In a DNS spoofing attack, the attacker takes advantage of the fact that the user thinks the site they are visiting is legitimate. This gives the attacker the ability to commit crimes in the name of an innocent company, at least from the perspective of the visitor. Keeping your DNS servers up to date is crucial in preventing DNS spoofing attacks. Session hijacking involves taking over a session between a client and server, allowing attackers to impersonate the client. This kind of attack is effective because the server uses the client's IP address to verify its identity. If the attacker's IP address is inserted partway through the session, the server may not suspect a breach because it is already engaged in a trusted connection. Using a VPN encrypts your communication, making it difficult for attackers to hijack your sessions. Brute force attacks use bots to guess login credentials, gaining access once the correct combination is found. The attacker provides the bot with a list of credentials that they think may give them access to the secure area. The bot then tries each one while the attacker sits back and waits. Once the correct credentials have been entered, the criminal gains access. Lockout policies and random complex passwords are effective defenses against brute force attacks. Web attacks exploit vulnerabilities in web applications, including SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Some common web attacks include SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Hackers also use cross-site request forgery, CSRF, attacks and parameter tampering. In a CSRF attack, the victim is fooled into performing an action that benefits the attacker. Regularly inspecting and updating your web applications can help patch vulnerabilities and prevent web attacks. Insider threats come from within an organization, often from employees with access to sensitive systems. People within the organization often have an in-depth understanding of its cybersecurity architecture, as well as how the business reacts to threats. This knowledge can be used to gain access to restricted areas, make changes to security settings, or deduce the best possible time to conduct an attack. Limiting access to essential personnel and using multi-factor authentication can deter insider threats. Trojan horses hide malicious code within seemingly legitimate programs, opening back doors for attackers. This threat gets its name from the story of the Greek soldiers who hid inside a horse to infiltrate the city of Troy and win the war. Once the gift was accepted and brought within the gates of Troy, the Greek soldiers jumped out and attacked. Educating users about safe downloading practices and using advanced firewalls can prevent Trojan horse attacks. Drive-by attacks embed malicious code in insecure websites, infecting users who simply visit the site. The designation drive-by comes from the fact that the victim only has to drive by the site by visiting it to get infected. There is no need to click on anything on the site or enter any information. Keeping software up to date and using web filtering tools can protect against drive-by attacks. Cross-site scripting attacks use malicious scripts to alter web application behavior, often for financial gain. The attacker transmits malicious scripts using clickable content that gets sent to the target's browser. When the victim clicks on the content, the script is executed. In this video, we will walk you through the most commonly asked cybersecurity-related interview questions and their answers. Let's get started. What is cybersecurity, and why is it important? Whitelisting allowable entities and sanitizing data inputs can prevent cross-site scripting attacks. Eavesdropping attacks intercept network traffic, stealing sensitive information like usernames and passwords. With active eavesdropping, the hacker inserts a piece of software within the network traffic path to collect information that the hacker analyzes for useful data. Passive eavesdropping attacks are different in that the hacker listens in, or eavesdrops, on the transmissions, looking for useful data they can steal. Encrypting your data is a powerful defense against both active and passive eavesdropping attacks. Birthday attacks exploit hash algorithms to replace legitimate messages with malicious ones. The name birthday attack refers to the birthday paradox, which is based on the fact that in a room of 23 people, there is more than a 50% chance that 2 of them have the same birthday. Hence, while people think their birthdays, like hashes, are unique, they are not as unique as many think. Using longer hashes for verification makes it significantly harder for attackers to create matching hashes. Malware is a broad term for malicious software that disrupts, damages, or spies on your system. Several of the attack methods described above can involve forms of malware, including MITM attacks, phishing, ransomware, SQL injection, Trojan horses, drive-by attacks, and XSS attacks. Firewalls and user education are key to preventing malware attacks and maintaining a secure digital environment. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the top 20 most common types of cybersecurity attacks. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and protect your digital world. Remember, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Subscribe for more insights and tips on keeping your digital life secure. Stay safe out there.